How's it everybody? Welcome back to Coral Reeches. It's Sanctum Gamer here, and we are staring down at our beautiful beaches that we built in the last video, and it's something that I'm excited to continue expanding on over on this area. Now, quite a number of things are happening in the city that is affecting what it is that I'm going to be doing today. And the most important thing of it all is this downward trend of my population. I got this mod, I can't remember what it's called. It's show stats, I don't know. I've forgotten what it's called. If I remember, I'll put it up on the screen. But it goes and puts these statistics that actually show you the exact number of how your population is trending instead of it just being an arrow, which I think is fantastic. I love it. It shows me that I'm actually losing people at a rate of 100 and whatever per minute or per hour, sorry, and then how much I'm making per hour as well. And this is actually really cool. My city is highly profitable. However, this is only the case because I've set all of the tile upkeep values to 0 because I wanted to see if I was making enough money when I eliminated that, and it looks like I am doing fairly okay. But with this downward trend of my population, people, the city is starting to suffer. As you can see, we're starting to get a lot of businesses that do not have enough labor. I find this an interesting trend in the city because when I look at it, I mean, based on these stats, I should have quite a lot of jobs. I mean, I've got almost 50,000 jobs, but an unemployment rate of 0.2%. Now, if I look at my split of children and teens versus adults and seniors, it's a near 50-50 split. I believe the workforce comes from adults and seniors, if I'm not mistaken. I have a near 50-50 split. I've got almost 50,000 jobs. That should be more than enough. Some seniors obviously don't work, and therefore I think it should be fairly well balanced. At an unemployment rate of 0.1%, I mean, I just don't have enough people in the city. So I was thinking that I will continue on the expansion of this area just to grow the population a bit, because in the last video I'm pretty sure our population went all the way up to 108,000, and yet it's going down, and I really don't know why. So what I want to do is I'm going to start expanding out a little bit more on this area, probably get a lot of residential and stuff into this place, and I'm going to try and include as many amenities as I can just to keep the city attractive and hopefully keep more people in my city. And then I want to see how that's going to play out on the overall stats, and maybe we come around to this side in the next video and expand out a little bit on this to grow the population and introduce more amenities, all of that good stuff. I'm only guessing that part of the reason why a lot of people are leaving my city, which by the way is still like half of the number of people that move in, my death rate is also less than the number of births. So I really find it odd that my trend is so downward. It's so much. I really don't get it. So if anybody knows why my downward trend is so high, even though all of these stats are showing me that it should be going up, please let me know in the comments, because I would really like to figure out why my city goes through this massive up and down. Because when I looked at the citizens, you can see I'm currently going through a massive downward spiral, something that I went through, I don't know, a couple of years ago, game years that is, and now it's starting to happen again, and I would really like to figure out exactly why that is happening. So with that, what I want to do is that I'm going to start off here like I mentioned in the last video. I think because of the way I want to expand things, I'm going to connect this place up with this area here. So I've got this road here, which I think I'm going to extend and connect it up to this one. And then we're going to develop out this area with some residential areas. Might put a little bit of mid density here, but most of this area is going to be low density households. And then once we're done with this, we'll move out and start considering how we're going to shape up all of this other area around the area of Bedford. All right, I think we've done enough over here. Jesus, this actually took longer than I expected. But in the end, I think it has extended out a little bit. We've got our population going up, and I think this looks better for me than the way it looks before. This place looks a little bit more balanced. I like the harsh contrast of these white buildings, even though I do think the contrast is a little bit too much, but I'm going to leave it for now. I'm not going to try and change it just yet. Instead I'll adjust a couple of these just so that they are also a tad bit lighter, maybe not as light as all of the others, but I don't know, some kind of story can be thought of around these, even though no man, I think I've gone a bit too far with how white these buildings are. Maybe just decrease the whiteness just a little bit so that it does not blind people. I think this is better. Yeah, so this is like a slight shade of gray almost. I think the super bright white is just a bit too much, but there we go. I think that is much better. And now this place is entirely closed off. We've got very heavy greenery, thick foresty area here. We've got it then opening up. I can just imagine you coming through here, and then this just opens up to the beautiful houses with the beach that is just lining all of this area. I think this is much better. It looks good. I'm happy. Time to move on. So this is something that I want to address. Look at how many people are waiting for an ambulance. Now, if I pull up my health bar or whatever you wanna call it, health and death care, look at how orange a lot of my buildings are. This whole area is orange, and I just built it. Granted, the city center is a little bit better, but it's still very orange. And then all these other areas are also orange going to red. Now, I thought I had more than enough, I don't know, clinics and stuff, but it doesn't look like it. I mean, I've got a clinic there, clinic there, clinic there, clinic there. I mean, I've just got clinics all over the place, but I cannot seem to get my average health to go above 61%. And I don't like that. And I don't like the fact that from time to time I have these massive waiting for ambulance things, and it's something that I want to address. Now, I'm thinking maybe the only reason why is I don't have as many clinics as I think I do. So maybe in a town like Shepherd, where I've got only 2 clinics, or well, 3, it's clearly not enough, even though all the roads are green. I'm going to put down a clinic down in this area, right above, closer to the downtown of the town of, what town is this? I forget the names of my town. The town of Springs. So I'll put a full-blown clinic over on this side, and then I'll also give it the extension wings for additional ambulances, so that hopefully we can get more ambulances moving around and collecting people in and around that area. I'm going to try and put down another one maybe over here in this corner next to the school, right? So hopefully that should also help give this place a little bit more coverage. And to make sure that it also has enough ambulances, we will give it also the ambulance upgrade. So now we've got a cemetery and 2 clinics over in Old Mills Town. Shifting my attention to the main city, I want to give it also 1 or 2 more clinics, because I mean, this is the main city and I only have 1 clinic over on that side and a hospital over here. This area is completely devoid of any medical health care, so it will probably be wise for me to have a clinic maybe over on this side, which will then cater for the areas closer to this side. We'll give it an ambulance upgrade, and then we'll also give it 1 extra extension, maybe 2 extra extension wings, because this area is quite large, and hopefully that should be enough then to cover up most of the city area on this side. Over here in Victoria, which just sits off of Shepherd and Springs over here, it is a small little settlement, so I'm gonna give it also a, what is it? I think it's just a small medical clinic over in this corner or maybe over on this side, and that should hopefully then also help cover this area. I don't believe this one has any upgrades, right? No, it does not, but at least that should also cover this area up a little bit better and give it also a few more ambulances to pick up people in and around here. And then lastly, over here in Waterworth, which is the town we're building in the live streams, I think I'm gonna give this corner also a little pharmacy. Actually, let's make it a full-blown clinic, because I think this will look much nicer over here. And then also give you the ambulance upgrade, and then that should be quite a lot of healthcare that I've added. So if I turn the white screens back on and I have a look at my coverage, I have clinics pretty much everywhere now. Now, I know the clinic is not necessarily the reason for average health. From what I can tell, I don't know why in the world my average health is so low, because when I look at all the various pollutions and stuff, I mean, there's no air pollution anywhere around this area. There is barely any ground pollution. Well, there is no ground pollution where people live, except maybe here, but this is where all of the residential areas are. I've got some here that there's no one living in the immediate area. Same for this side, same for that side, same for this side. A lot of the residential areas are shifted over to that side, so I don't believe it's ground pollution. All of my water stations, which sit right on the water, if I look at water pollution, there's no water pollution in this area. There is no water pollution either in this area, which are the two places that I have my water stuff. The only thing I can think of is that we've got a bit of noise pollution along the highways, and this place is probably very notorious for noise pollution. And I'm purposely leaving this area like this because I prefer the aesthetics of this. I don't want to put the massive sound barriers on here, but I would like to think just this little noise pollution area is not the reason why the average health of pretty much every single place is so low. So now that we've put down all these clinics, I'm gonna keep an eye on the buildings and see how many of them turn green over the course of the video, and if my overall average health goes up. If it doesn't, then I have absolutely no idea what's going on. If anybody has any ideas, please do let me know, because I am tired of seeing my average health just sitting at 60. I would like to get this all the way up. Even though it is not really a train smash for what I'm doing, I would still like to see it go up a bit better. Turning our attention back to Bedford, we're going to continue the expansions over here, and I want to start off with medical immediately. I want to put a medical clinic down right over on this side, because the closest one at this point, I think it's somewhere all the way down that side, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's all the way over there. So the people around here, at least now we've got something that will cater for them. And then I'll give it also again the garage upgrade, and I think this one I can also give an extension wing. And then we're gonna try and develop out this area and then expand out a little bit over on this side. Just try to complete this town as a whole, and then we shall move on to the rest of the city. Alrighty. I think this area is filled in now with some more houses, and my population is finally back on the up, and I hope I'll be able to maintain it. I like the way that is shaping out. I want to try and get a few more houses in and around this place and just close off this beach. I'm not sure if I want to extend the beach, but I will probably close it off somewhere around here. And then if we do continue expansion out into this area, I will consider building more beaches. But for now, my aim is to just try and expand out this area and just make it look a nice kind of way to say that Bedford is almost all but done. Nothing amazingly wow that is happening right now or in this, who knows, maybe even this whole video, but I'm enjoying just expanding out on this place, and I want to just see this place grow as soon as possible. I see my medical stuff looks like it's getting better. I don't see as many waiting for ambulance signs. I don't think there's been much improvement to my overall health. It's still at 60%. So, yeah, whatever. All right, so let's take a pause because wow, we've expanded out quite a bit, and as you can see, we basically get into what is essentially the furthest points of the city, as I try to start sort of closing the area off with a couple of large houses. I'd originally considered putting farms here, but I think farms this close to the main Bedford CBD area and beach life living, I think it's just, I don't know, I kind of think it's a bit unrealistic. So I've decided instead that I'm going to close off this place with slightly larger houses and more greenery. So we have lots and lots of green spaces that fill a lot of the gaps between the houses. And in some of the cases like here where I can, I'll try and make some of them have what looks like bigger lots of land. I was trying to build a construction site here, and as you can see, this is a dismal failure, and that's probably because I don't know what assets we also have. So I was busy trying to find assets that I could use to fill in this place, and I just couldn't. So I think I'll spend some time off camera to see if I can find what type of assets there are, and then I'll give this thing a bit of a try again. I've also managed to squeeze in another elementary school. It is pretty much almost full to capacity. I figured once I get back here, I will put one of the bigger ones. Where is it? This, oh, let's turn off the white screen. I'm thinking I will put one of these big ones here, which has a capacity of, I think, 1,500 or 2,000 or something like that. In fact, let's plonk this down right here over there. And that gets us a little bit into the green, even though we are barely there. And then we can just go ahead. Let's give it the maximum upgrade. I think that should help a little bit. And then I'm going to plonk this. I want this to actually be against the road. So let's do this. Let's switch that off and let's turn this, make it face the road like so. I wonder if it's possible to have another one. Nah, I think it's fine the way it is. And then we will blend all of this area in. But at least from an elementary school point of view, it helps a little bit. It's up my capacity. It's giving me an extra 1,000 and what is that? 500 or 600 or whatever that is, which is good. I will go ahead and change the color of this building as well. I want a slightly cooler color, I think. Maybe that shade of gray or white. And then we'll grab this and then we'll color up the extensions as well. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to continue expanding over here. We're going to densify this place a little bit. So we're going to surround this entire elementary school with houses. And then just like that side, we'll just close it off quickly, even though it will not be the end of the expansions. We'll probably come back at some point and just blend it all in a little bit better. I think for the purposes of this video, what I want to do here will be good enough. And then after that, I will look at blending this area in and creating a nice continuous beach that will extend all the way up to that space. All right, everybody, let's see if we can finish off this area. right, I'm gonna call it quits here now for the expansion of the roads going out in that direction. But this is definitely not the end of this area. I think I'm leaving it specifically like this because I can come back to it at some point and branch off roads off of here down in that direction and create more beaches. At least that's the plan. That's what I'm thinking. I see this house is basically not connected to anything. So I'm gonna get rid of you. I'm gonna get rid of this one. And let's just replace this one with a 4x6 house. Nice and big. We'll stick it in right over on this side, and hopefully with that we shouldn't have any complaints. And great, we've got everything in, people. Nice and expanded. I think it's not complete yet, so for me I feel like it's still a little bit empty. But what I like about this is that it's extending out into what looks like very thick forest or very thick trees, whatever you want to call it, which generally is how cities tend to taper off anyways, at least the ones that I have seen. Is as you get to the outskirts, there is a lot more greenery and the houses get more and more scarce. They cut their way through, and yeah, I think that's looking quite all right. I like the green just surrounding everything. I think it's coming together very nicely. Now I want to try and wrap up this entire area. And the way I want to do that is that I want to fill in this spot over here. So we're going to create a nice beach, probably a little bit of commercial in and around this place. I may need to squeeze in another elementary school somewhere around here because the capacity is just, wow, it's hectic. But I'll keep it up. It's nice to see though that I'm good with high school and college, which is awesome. University is coming very, very soon. And yeah, I cannot wait for that one. All right, everybody, let us fill in this place and then we'll be calling it quits for the day. All right, we are done. Oh man, this place has come together. Like, just look at that. Look at that. I got an idea from somebody in the comments in the last video. If I remember, I'll put it up. But basically they suggested that I take some of the houses and I color them all orange just to make it look as though it's some kind of a building theme that is going on there. I think they gave an example of some Spanish area or something like that, if I remember right. I can't remember exactly, but the idea is keep the colors all the same. And I mean, look how that pops out, right? Just look how that pops up. Now imagine expanding all of this out over this entire area. So just going around this little hill, maybe even onto the little hill. Imagine how beautiful that is going to look. I think that is definitely something I'm going to do in the future when we come back to expand this area out. Just make more orange houses type of thing around the end. The whole place just looks like one nice, massive planned development. Overall, everybody, I mean, I think I am very, very happy with this. This has turned out way better than I anticipated, and in the end, I'm glad I actually decided to do this because now this place feels more of a complete area. I've got this empty spot here that I have been neglecting and ignoring for the longest time because I have absolutely no idea what to put here. So until I get an idea of what to put here, I'm just going to make this be some kind of a nice green space in the area. I mean, green spaces are always a welcome, right? You can never have enough green spaces when it comes to places like this. So I think this will stand out as well. It's something that I am striving for. I do, as you can see, put a lot of green pockets, especially as I move out into the outside areas of the city. More of these sort of pockets of green, I think, just add so much life to the residential spaces. It's a place that I absolutely like, something I enjoy building. So imagine these are not just green things that are sitting there, but people go there and they chill under the trees, they relax, you know, that kind of thing. All of these areas are accessible, at least in my mind. That is how I see it. And overall, everybody, I think this area has turned out really, really, really well. Before we call it quits, something I did notice that I'm definitely going to address is this health thing. So I was looking at what options I have, right? And I see that I've got a health research institute that decreases disease infection and increases park entertainment. And then I've got the disease control center, which decreases the health effects from pollution by a whole 25%, and as well as disease infection. So these are two buildings that I'm definitely going to plonk down. I am going to use these probably as part of my university when I build it, and I think that should hopefully help out with everything once I get that going. So yeah, in the next, I don't know, in the next video or two, when we jump into building like a university or something, we'll definitely be implementing these and then see if that will help with the overall health, you know, situation of my city. Otherwise, everybody, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this expansion because I thoroughly enjoy building it. I love building these sort of expansions. It's like a massive increase to the city. And overall, another thing, by the way, if we look at my industry, all of them now have enough employees. I don't have anybody complaining about not enough employees, not enough labor, and so on. And looking at the city stats, my unemployment rate has gone up a little bit, which is good. I strive to try and keep this at around the 3 to 4% mark because I think then every single building has more than enough people to do the job that they need to do. Otherwise, that is it. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button if you've been here a while already and you haven't done so, and don't forget to turn on the bells and notifications. Leave a comment below of anything you enjoy, things you like to see, tips and so on that you might have. It will be truly appreciated. Big thanks to all of my patrons and YouTube members for all the extra support that you continue to choose to show the channel. It is so appreciated. Enjoy the cinematics of our beautiful new area, and I shall catch you all in the next one. Cheers, everybody.